I've been shooting in this little wooded copse area for quite a while now, and I've tried to get a few shots using some flash, using some natural light. I tried to get a nice photo of a fly where I did some manual focus stacking, and to be honest, right now I don't think any of the shots that I've got have really inspired me. I always find that particularly difficult when I've come out with all my stuff in somewhere like this and I'm not getting the sort of shots that I want, because it just kind of leaves me feeling a little bit frustrated and a little bit negative about what I'm doing, and that is never a good way to stay creative. So I thought I'm going to try a little trick to get a very different type of shot. I'm still using my flash, Godox V1, but this time I've actually got it off camera. So on camera I've got a trigger so I can actually activate the flash remotely. Now what this is going to let me do is use it as a backlight and shoot through some leaves. So let me just find one right here as a very quick example, one that's wide enough. Let's say this one. What I'm going to be doing is using my 100mm macro lens to really fill the frame with a leaf. Maybe not this one because it's not quite big enough. How about one of these ones? These ones look great, nice and big. I'm going to fill the frame with the leaf using the 100mm macro lens. I'm going to be holding the flash directly behind the leaf. Focus on the leaf, take the shot. What we're then going to get is this leaf beautifully lit up from behind, and that creates some amazing highlights on the actual leaf parts, but it also allows all of those different veins and textures to really stand out. So today, instead of just trying to take photos of any macro subject I can possibly find, I'm going to really try and focus my attention on finding leaves, finding textures where I can use this technique. Let's try it here. This leaf's got a nice little hole in it, which might look quite fun. Oh, it does. Oh, I like that a lot. So it's dead easy to do. You just really need your flash off camera. Settings wise, I'm at ISO 200. I'm going to increase my aperture to f8 actually. And my shutter speed is at 200th of a second, which is the maximum sync speed I can use without using high speed sync. I'm just adjusting my flash manually. So I'm basically taking a photo, seeing what it looks like, and then adjusting from there. I am still struggling because of how windy it is. The leaves are moving around, so I'm having to take a few shots. And I'm just having to be patient, wait for that wind to drop, and then I'll try again. So although I am just trying to fill the frame with the leaf, I am still trying to pay attention to where some of the lines on those veins are going to try and create some sort of composition rather than simply just firing away randomly. I'm going to use my screen. I think that looks pretty cool, just with that central vein of the leaf going right across the middle. Good thing is that you're going to get different textures depending on the different leaves that you're shooting. So maybe this one, I frame it a different way. Yeah, I like that. It really does require you having that flash off camera behind the leaf. If you took the same shots with the flash in front, all you would do is just light that leaf and you wouldn't get the same result at all. Ooh, okay, these are moving around a lot. I'm gonna have to give this a moment. So I'm just trying to basically hand hold this flash, angle it upwards towards the leaf, but not having it so close that it actually gets in the frame. So it's a bit of a guessing game. It's very much trial and error. This looks like a good contender because it's already kind of yellowing a little bit. So I'm hoping that that's going to lend itself really nicely. Whoa, that's bright. Okay. I'm just going to try and get a little bit further away with my macro lens. So rather than filling the frame with just the details on the leaf, I'm actually going to try and capture the whole thing in one shot. So I'm actually shooting low. The flash is sort of below that leaf. Looking up. I've increased my shutter speed, or decreased it, to try and bring in a little bit more ambient light. It's alright. You know, it's an interesting effect, but I don't think this is the best shot in the world. Like this one, because we've got this nice sort of chunk taken out of it. It's definitely going to be a vertical composition to kind of match the shape. 200th of a second, f9, 32 power on my flash. Bush is moving a bit, so we apply patience and then we try again. And here we've just got these 3 leaves in a little triangle, so I'm not going to try and zoom in, I'm just going to try and get all of them in this shot. And to be honest, I actually prefer lighting this one from the top. because they really stand out. So we get this really nice sort of moody looking scene, which I think looks great for this. Okay, sure. That's not the same technique that I've been showing. It's not the backlighting the leaves, it's just lighting the leaves, but it does show the versatility of using your flash off camera. So what I've done now is actually switch to my 50mm lens, and sure, this is not necessarily a macro lens, so I suppose these aren't necessarily going to be macro shots, but it's just giving me that extra little bit of width in the frame just to make composing these shots that bit easier. So I'm going to try bringing the flash power right down again. Might try this little trio again now I've got a different lens on. See how this looks. Yeah, kind of like it. Problem is now I'm on a 50, got a much wider frame. It's therefore far easier for me to accidentally get the flash in shot, or even if it isn't in shot, it can create a flare which doesn't look good. So just going to be a bit more careful. So what I'm often doing is sort of bringing the flash into shot so where I can see it, and then just move it out. Oh, but even that flares a lot. Okay, I have to be a bit more careful. This shot I'm taking as a vertical, but I'm very much imagining it flipping, being horizontal, with this nice kind of light falling on it. And it might work. Or it might look awful. We'll see. Again, using my flash off camera means that instead of getting just a flat lighting on this little bug, I can actually put some direction to the light and give some sort of more interesting effects like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not the most fantastic of photos, but God, that creates so much more mood, and it creates so much more shadow and contrast and sculpts the scene in a way that just using the natural light really would not. In fact, what would it look like with a natural light? Boring. That's how it would look. Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to focus more on this end leaf though. Yeah, getting a flare in, which is a shame, so I'm just going to try and re-angle the light a little bit more. I'm going to have to open it up, f7.1. That's cool. A lot of contrast in that, because the light's coming in more from the side. So there's some lovely shadows going on. Well, I've probably taken enough photos of leaves, so I think I should call it a day here. I've really enjoyed using this technique, and I think it's allowed me to get some shots that I think look pretty cool. And that's great, because I'd really felt very uninspired and very uncreative when I first came out. So just trying a little trick like this has absolutely boosted what I've come away with. But if you've enjoyed this video, then do please hit that like button, and of course consider subscribing to my channel if you don't already, and I will see you next time.